What if I told you that there's a guitar pedal with a waiting list over 3 years long? And when people get that pedal, they wind up flipping it for double the price. And why is it that some of the biggest guitar players in the world swear by it? Today we're talking about the legendary, the mythical Analog Man King of Tone. To understand the Analog Man King of Tone, you have to understand its origins. Analog Man was founded in the early 90s by Mike Piera. When Mike started Analog Man, he didn't set out to build the most hyped pedal of all time. He simply set out to fix some fundamental problems with pedals that were on the market during that time. And through that process, Analog Man became known for their high quality pedals. No fancy circuits, no gimmicks, no flashiness, just pure tone. The Analog Man King of Tone was born in the early 2000s. Its roots can trace back to the Marshall Bluesbreaker pedal. The Bluesbreaker pedal was known for its very smooth, transparent, low gain overdrive tones. It really mimicked that amp, tube edge of breakup sound. And the founder of Analog Man, he loved that Bluesbreaker circuit, like a lot of players did at that time. But there was one kind of flaw with that pedal. Some of the flaws, and I wouldn't necessarily say a flaw, but some of the issues with that pedal were it didn't have a lot of headroom. Sometimes it wouldn't get loud enough. And you can kind of see that in the King of Tone a little bit. It has more than the Bluesbreaker, but it's still not as much as like your modern, like heavy overdriven pedals. So some people might not like that. I personally like it. It keeps it tamed. Essentially what the Analog Man King of Tone pedal is, it's just two Bluesbreaker circuits that are modified by, Analog Man smashed into one. They're two of the same circuits. Some of the pedals come with the high gain option, which is the one that I have. Mine also has a buffer built into it. And the cool thing about having those essentially two separate pedals in one box is they're stackable. They cascade into each other, which is really nice. You can get that really heavy saturation, with the light overdrive sound and the heavy overdrive sound, like slammed into each other, which is really cool. So what makes this pedal special? It's kind of like all the other special pedals. It's got all the buzzwords. It's transparent. The clipping's really good in it. I personally don't think it's that transparent, honestly. It's kind of got like a little mid-range hump in it. Kind of, reminiscent of like a Tube Screamer, but not as drastic in the mids. So how do people use this pedal? I don't really know, but I'll tell you how I use it and what I like about it and what I don't really like about it, because there are some things that I don't necessarily like about it. I initially took the Greer Lightspeed off my board to put the King of Tone on my board. What I found is I didn't really like the King of Tone for rhythm section stuff. It gets a little muddy. It doesn't really have a bunch of high end, I think, on it. It doesn't sound bad, but where it really shines for me is the lower gain stuff. Even the high gain side of it, I've used it for solos before, playing gigs, but it's not my favorite. I still tend to lean on my Zen drive a lot for all my lead parts. It's not unusable, but some people might actually prefer the King of Tone higher gain sound. Just for my ears, I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but I'll still use it every now and then. It's really, really in your face. So we all know the famous players who use these pedals: John Mayer, Joe Bonamassa, Gary Clark Jr. I mean, the list goes on. And there's good reason for that. It is a very usable platform, and it's kind of cool to have two pedals in one if you really gel with the overall EQ and sound of the pedal. So here's where things get a little crazy. So I've been on the wait list for, I think, 2 years now. I haven't got a pedal. If anybody's been on the website, people give them a hard time because it's kind of an older looking website. I think it's pretty cool that they keep it like that. It kind of shows that they're really hyper focused on the quality of pedals they put out and not necessarily like spending a bunch of money to make a website, even though I don't really know how much a website is to make now. So basically you get on the website, you sign up, and you just kind of wait, and you get an email, from what I've heard, because I haven't gotten my retail price Analog Man. Yes, I paid, I think, $650 for mine. So I fell victim to the scalpers, and I'm glad I did. It's It's a cool pedal to have. Here's where it gets weird, because the legend of the King of Tone, is it more hyped up because it sounds really good, or is it more hyped up because there's a 3, 4, 5 year waiting list? And I think it's a little bit of both. You know, people tend to want things that they can't have, and they want them now, especially if they have the funds to do it. People do pay those prices, and don't get mad at the people who are selling these pedals, because it's a market, and something is only worth what people are willing to pay for it. And people are willing to pay double the price, sometimes triple the price, you know, for a weird color or something. So the market deems it. I mean, people wouldn't list them for that price if they weren't selling. If you're looking for like a higher gain pedal, even with the high gain channel of the King of Tone, I would not recommend this pedal. It is not going to do your soaring leads and your heavily distorted stuff. So, you know, you metal guys, it's not for you. Blues, if you play blues predominantly and hard rock, it's right up your alley, dude. I mean, it sounds great. It's one of those pedals where it just really sits really well in the mix when you're gigging live. That's part of the reason why I haven't taken it off the board, because it just sounds good with a whole band. Is the King of Tone worth the wait? Yes, I think it is worth the wait. If you have the money to go out and pay double the price, sure, go for it. I mean, if you want it, go get it. But is it like, oh my God, I need this pedal, or, you know, my tone's going to be terrible? That's not true. I mean, it's a great pedal. It's cool. It sounds really good. It's warm. It's dynamic. It's extremely touch sensitive. But at the end of the day, it's just a pedal. But if you're really looking for like a good solid overdrive and have the money, buy a King of Tone. If you only have $200, go buy a Greer Lightspeed. I mean, that's just, you know, I talked to Nick and I told him I got a King of Tone pedal, and he was like, you know, a lot of people are taking those off their board to put Lightspeeds on it. And at first I was like, well, you know, yeah, Lightspeed's great, but you know, you own the company. But I hate to say it, man, Nick was right. Like, after about a year of this thing on my board, you know, I am going to be putting my Greer Lightspeed back on. I'll probably keep the King of Tone on there as well. But to me, the Lightspeed is just a little more versatile, if that makes sense. It can do a lot more things. You can cover a lot more ground with the Lightspeed. King of Tone. Hope you like it.